Hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly devotions at Trinity Lutheran Church in West Bend. I'm Pastor David Schoob. I'm glad to be able to be with you this week. July is always a hard month for me. I join in with everyone else celebrating what our nation is about, the freedoms that we have, the place that we're so lucky to be a part of, and yet, as a Christian, sometimes I have so many questions. I feel almost torn in half as I look at the realities that we claim as Americans. So, you know what? I'm going to draw you into those questions over the next month and give you a chance to think about it as well, because I think we can only really honor what we are about as Americans if we realistically look at who we are and enter into this with our own gifts and powers as the people of God. I know that all sounds crazy, so let's just start by reading words from Jesus in John's Gospel, the 8th chapter. Then Jesus said to the Jews who had believed in him, "If you continue in my word, you are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free." They answered him, "We are descendants of Abraham and have never been slaves to anyone. What do you mean saying you will be made free?" Well, Jesus might have spoke those words just as much today to us as he did to those Jews of his time. The response of the Jews is somewhat absurd. We have never been slaves to anyone. Now let's see. They had been slaves in Egypt. They had been under the control of various nations upon entering the Promised Land, the Philistines, the Midianites, the Canaanites, just to name a few. They had been conquered by the Assyrians, the Babylonians, who took them into exile, the Persians, who relaxed things a bit, the Greeks, and now the Romans. We probably would say the same thing, though, and yet are we really as free as we think? Have we ever really been totally free? Many at the beginnings of this nation were kept in chattel slavery. People have been enslaved to poverty and prejudice. We've been enslaved to political ideologies and social pressures. Well, I could go on and on and on and on. Our freedom is more limited than we like to imagine. We are free in many ways in America and are deeply grateful for that reality, but let's be honest. Not everyone is free. Freedom isn't what it seems. And we're all enslaved in some ways as well. So what is this freedom that Jesus offers us? What is the truth? I think the truth begins by recognizing that we are all slaves to sin, no matter what the nature of the nation that we live in. But Jesus, by the power of the sacrificial love that he offers us on the cross, can loose the chains that bind us. I've always been impressed by Frederick Buechner's analysis of freedom. He writes, "We have freedom to the degree that the master whom we obey grants it to us in return for our obedience. We do well to choose a master in terms of how much freedom we get for how much obedience. To obey the law of the land leaves us our constitutional freedom, but not the freedom to follow our own conscience wherever it leads. To obey the dictates of our conscience leaves us freedom from the sense of moral guilt, but not the freedom to gratify our own strongest appetites. To obey our strongest appetites for drink, sex, power, revenge, or whatever leaves us the freedom of an animal to take what we want when we want it, but not the freedom of a human being to be human. The old prayer speaks of God in whose service is perfect freedom. The paradox is not as opaque as it sounds. It means to obey love itself, which above all else wishes us well, leaves us the freedom to be the best and gladdest that we have it in us to become. The only freedom love denies us is the freedom to destroy ourselves ultimately." If we're honest, we have been servants of all these masters through our life. Law, appetites, our moral conscience. But the one that gives us the greatest freedom, I believe, is our service to a God who loves us no matter what. We have to choose who we will serve above the rest. We have to decide where our greatest loyalty and hence our greatest freedom actually stands. Maybe that's the truth that Jesus came to bring. You have to serve someone. Who will it be? Who is the one who gives you true freedom? I celebrate the wonder of this nation, but deep in my heart, I know who I need to serve. And when this country begins to lean away from the love that Jesus came to bring, I know I need to challenge that and call out the country that has always been my home. Because you see, in the end, we all have to serve somebody. Who will you serve? As you contemplate that, listen to Bob Dylan, who musically offers the same challenge as Frederick Buechner. And as you listen, pray for God to guide you to true freedom. You can use the link below to go to the song.